teachers and students, and welcome back. I'm Principal Lumar, and the journey we will take this year will have some sharp curves, hills, as well as straight and narrow paths. We will not turn around, but we will strive to reach our destiny. We will learn from our past to work on our future. Our goal moving forward is to promote a culture of excellence for all stakeholders. I am confident the upcoming school year will be filled with rich and rewarding experiences. As we are bombarded with many changes and challenges each day, we need to keep that as our focus. At this time, I'd like to give you a brief introduction on all of our administrators who will work with you and serve you this school year. Of course, I'm Principal Lumar, and my office is located in the main office, but you're more likely to see me standing in the commons area or constantly moving throughout the campus. My greatest responsibility is the safety and well-being of all students at Hornville High School, and I will certainly strive to make sure each and every student strives to be their best. Mr. Jose Gonzalez, Assistant Principal, is in charge of 9th grade discipline, scheduling, grade reporting, transcripts, and supervises the math department. Our sophomore administrator is Mr. Jerry Nugent. Administrative monitor, he will process all 10th grade discipline. He will also coordinate parking, assist with grade reporting and transcripts, jumpstart, lunch monitors, conduct investigations, and will serve as the ADAPT liaison. Mr. Sean Hayden, Assistant Principal, will be responsible for 11th grade discipline. He is also in charge of the Social Studies Department, Athletics, Investigations, Maintenance, AP Program, PB Program, and is our Safe School Coordinator. Miss Victoria Preyu, Assistant Principal, will be responsible for 12th grade discipline. She is also in charge of the English Department, ACT Committee, the Hornville Advisory Team, School Office Specialist, 504 Accommodations and SPLC, Dual Enrollment, and will coordinate all testing. And last but not least, Miss Jennifer Foss, Assistant Principal, will be in charge of our Special Education Department and Gifted Programs. She will also assist with substitute teachers and investigations, and she will serve on our Hornville Advisory Team as well.
Good morning, Hornville High. I am Victoria Preo, another one of the assistant principals here at Hornville High School. I wanted to cover the COVID safety procedures we will be following. The first aspect I want to cover is masks. Proper wearing of masks is currently the #1 measure we can take to prevent the spread of COVID. To wear your mask correctly, you must have your nose and mouth covered. The only time you should have your mask off is while you are actively eating or drinking. Teachers and other staff members are required to redirect individuals whose mask has fallen out of place. Now, on to social distancing. The rule to remember is masked 6 feet, no more than 15 minutes, meaning that if you are masked and closer than 6 feet for 15 minutes or more, you are violating the guidelines set by the CDC and St. Charles Parish Public Schools Hornville High School procedures. We will remind and redirect as needed during all transitions about social distancing and masks. In class, procedures will be covered by your individual teachers, but know that the expectation is for students to receive instruction at their desks that are 6 feet apart, with movement only as required. During the last 5 minutes of class, teachers will implement a procedure for wiping down desks and high-touch areas as students stand behind desks. Once you are standing, it is imperative you do not touch any surfaces. Just hum MC Hammer's "You Can't Touch This" in your head while you wait. Maybe I could get it piped into the rooms during this time. Throughout the day, you will need to wash your hands. Students will be required to wash their hands prior to lunch. At other times, you can use hand sanitizer if you are unable to wash. Students are allowed to keep their own hand sanitizer in their book bags or purse. In addition, as you move through school, be aware of making contact with high-touch areas. Make it a habit to use hand sanitizer after you are seated for the beginning of each class. Remember, we are in this together, and we will continue to support one another as we adjust to these new expectations. And remember, once you stand behind the desk, you can't touch this.
Good morning. I'm Assistant Principal Jennifer Foss. I want to take the opportunity to remind you of some important things that need tending to during first period today. Student IDs. Please make sure you receive your ID during first period and that you have it with you at all times. It is a part of the dress code expectations. You will need them for many things here on campus, such as checking out the Chromebooks that we will be loaning to you, as well as getting lunch from food services. Technology Loaner Agreement. This was a form that was sent home to your families that needs to be signed by your parent or guardian in order for Hahnville High School to issue you a Chromebook. If you have this form with you today, please put it on your desk for your first period teacher to collect and get to the IT department. If you do not have it with you and signed today, you must bring it by your first day of class next week. Electronic copies are available on the school and district websites. Class schedule. Please make sure you have this with you so that you can navigate where you're supposed to be this semester. If you are unsure of the location of one of your classes, please ask your first period teacher for assistance. Student agendas. Please make sure you receive this during first period. It contains important information that you are responsible for all year. Inboxes. Make sure you receive your inbox and that you and your parents or guardians go through it in its entirety. There is important information you need to know in there, as well as important documents that need to be filled out by your parent or guardian by certain dates. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to working with all of you this school year.
Good morning, students. I'm Mr. Hyde. I'd like to go over some important procedures with you about moving throughout the school building while staying socially distant from one another so that everyone remains safe. Obviously, the number one non-negotiable rule is to keep your masks on at all times. When the bell rings, you will have 5 minutes to make it to your next class. As you walk from one room to the next, please walk to the right side of the hallways and move as quickly as possible to get to your destination. As much as we would love to allow you to hang out in the hallways and talk to your friends, that simply isn't an option, especially at this time. Previously, we would ring bells to signify lunch periods and everyone would move to the cafeteria. This year, that will also look different. There are specified times that your teacher will direct you to wash your hands in the nearest restroom or in the nearest sink, and then report to the serving areas that have been designated for you to pick up your lunch. After you have picked up your lunch, you will then report directly back to your third period classroom, and you will have 20 minutes to eat lunch once you have returned to class. I know you don't want to eat lunch with your teachers, and to be quite honest, your teachers may not necessarily want to eat lunch with you. But at this time, these are the sacrifices everyone is having to make in order to keep everyone safe while they're here at school. Your teachers will go over this schedule with you, but the most important thing is to stick to that schedule so we avoid having too many folks in one area at a time. On that note, if you approach a bathroom and there are more than 5 people in the bathroom, we're asking that you wait outside in the hallway before going in. While this may be an inconvenience, we're asking you to do your part to keep everyone safe and socially distant while we're here at school. Finally, the same social distancing will apply to dismissal. Where previously we would ring a bell and dismiss everyone at the same time, to maintain social distancing, we will be dismissed in stages. Each afternoon, you will be dismissed by your area. For example, the upstairs G building or the upstairs E building. When your area is called, students, you will be released to report to your buses as quickly as possible. This is just one more thing, one more inconvenience we will need your mature cooperation to successfully accomplish. Everyone is going to have to pull together this year more than ever to make sure that everyone's safety continues to be our top priority. If you have any questions or concerns about any of this, please discuss with your teacher or with your administrator. We're all here to support in any way we can. #WeAreHaunville.
Good morning. I'm Assistant Principal Jose Gonzalez, your 9th grade administrator. I want to take the opportunity to remind you of some important information regarding attendance and grades for the 2021 school year. This year, the entire school is divided into 2 groups, purple and gold. Each group will alternate between being in the classroom and engaging in home learning. Keep in mind that all home learning assignments are mandatory and will be graded per teacher decision. These assignments will have due dates and will be reflected in the grade book according to district policy. All late work policies still apply. The same holds true for attendance. All standard attendance policies still apply for the 2021 school year, regardless of whether you are in person at school or engaging in home learning. When at school, you will need to show up to your required classes every day on time, and you still may earn tardies and be assigned the appropriate consequence. When engaging in home learning, you do not have the leisure of engaging in your classwork whenever you'd like. Even at home, you are expected to engage in your scheduled classwork at the regular scheduled time. In order for you to be marked present for the period during home learning, you must complete the attendance check-in at the start of each and every class period. Doing so later in the day, outside of your normal class period, will result in your attendance not being recorded and you being marked absent. Remember the attendance policy. 5 absences for a full credit class and 2.5 absences for a half credit class results in loss of credit, regardless of the final grade. Although this year may pose some challenges, we are confident that the 2021 school year will be the best one yet.
Good morning. I'm Administrative Monitor Jerry Nugent, your 10th grade administrator. I want to take this opportunity to remind you of some important information regarding behavior expectations, discipline procedures, and potential consequences. As you know, we'll be operating on a hybrid purple gold schedule this year. That said, our students must still meet our school's expectations for following all rules and procedures regarding attendance, dress code, behavior, and COVID-19 related procedures. Please remember that there will be consequences for failure to meet these expectations. Most of the consequences are the same, but there are a few changes. I will take you through these changes. HHS will not be issuing lunch detentions this school year. Infractions that would typically receive a lunch detention will be documented infractions, and an appropriate consequence will be assigned by the student's administrator. After-school detentions will still be a potential consequence. The one change is that after-school detentions will now be held on Tuesdays and Wednesdays instead of Tuesdays and Thursdays. This is to ensure that an after-school detention day will be held on both a purple day and a gold day. All COVID-related safety policies and procedures will be adhered to during after-school detentions, and bus service will still be provided. 90-minute and 180-minute Saturday morning detentions will still also be a potential consequence. All COVID-related safety policies and procedures will be adhered to during morning detentions, and students will still be responsible for providing their own rides and transportation. Suspension via ADAPT will still be a potential consequence. However, while we're still making adjustments for the COVID-19 pandemic, suspensions will be served in one of 2 ways depending on the infraction. One potential suspension will be an at-home suspension or an at-home ADAPT, where the student will be required to spend a certain number of days at home and do all assignments electronically. Another potential suspension option will be in-school suspension, or an in-school ADAPT as you will, where students will be required to serve their suspension in the in-school suspension room on campus for a specified number of days, and all work will have to be completed electronically. The discipline ladder for various infractions will be as followed. Dress code violations. Students in violation of the HHS dress code will have each infraction documented and filed with the office for each instance. For dress code violations 1 through 3, the consequence will be a documented notification and a restorative conference with Coach Luquette. For dress code violations 4, 5, and 6, the consequence will be a documented notification and an after-school detention. For dress code violations 7 and 8, the consequence will be a documented notification and an in-school suspension. For dress code violations 9, 10, and 11, the consequence will be a documented notification and a Saturday detention. 12 or more dress code violations will result in the student being put in ADAPT. For tardies to class, students that are tardy will have each infraction documented and filed with the office. For tardies 1 through 3, the consequence will be a notification and a restorative conference with Coach Luquette. For tardies 4, 5, and 6, the consequence will be a documented notification and an after-school detention. For For tardies 7 and 8, the consequence will be a documented notification and an in-school suspension. For tardies 9, 10, and 11, the consequence will be a documented notification and a Saturday detention. 12 or more tardies will result in a student being put in a DAP. Behavior-related reports. All behavior-related issues will be documented on a referral and filed with the office. The student's administrator will conference with the staff member who wrote the referral and then determine the appropriate consequence. Consequences for behavior-related issues may include restorative conferences, the student being sent home from school, after-school detentions, in-school suspension, Saturday detentions, a DAP, and possibly expulsion. COVID-19 procedures. Failure to comply with COVID-19 related procedures will have consequences that may include, but are not limited to, the student being sent home from school and potentially enrolled in the e-learning program. Again, we expect the best from all of our students, and we want this to be a great school year for all of you. So work hard to be your best self and avoid behaviors that will take you down this road. Have a great day and have a great year. #We are Hahnville.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the entire administrative staff, I want to again welcome all of you and thank you for being part of Hahnville High School community, where you can experience tradition and always expect success. I'm Principal Lumar, and remember, hate cannot cure hate. Only love can. So please be true to yourself and each other. #We are Hahnville. Have a great year.